My name is Tim Bodner. Silly me. I'll be your truth slinger tonight. There's nobody here yet. So anyway, but you will be in about 2.5 seconds. And I think we're only moments away now from starting the what I'm sure is going to be a delightful school board meeting this evening. No, not a school board meeting. Forgive me. I usually do school boards.
Why don't you give him some background?
Meeting. So let me give you some background real quick on what's going on here. Let me see. We got about 8 minutes. Yeah, that's plenty of time. So wow, that's really crunchy. Can you move that? Like completely out of the way, please. Like, yeah. Oh, that's gonna get chewed to shit now. That is not a good idea. Anyway, so okay, if you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Tim. I will be your resident truth slinger tonight, also known, AKA as Truth Slinger X.
I'm here
Breaking
too.
a long hiatus, isn't that over there? Yeah, it's like the hippie chick over there, off to my left, off camera this evening.
Yep.
Not feeling particularly photogenic, although she is lovely tonight, but she just doesn't feel like being on the camera. But me, I'm a camera.
I'm shy.
Yeah, she is. And I'm a camera hoe. So
yeah,
you know, that's the way it goes. So I'm going to be your guide tonight through the magic mystery that will be apparently a bitch of a nut crunch of a meeting tonight. Why? Well, let's just say the city of Augusta is gonna go because they're having a big budget shortfall, right? They're not making enough money. People are not moving to the area. People are moving out of the area. Lots of things happening in the economy, and it's just kind of going okay. And so they go, well, let's just reevaluate everybody's properties, and it's not going to raise everybody's its values. No. It's just gonna the people like at the low end that aren't really paying their fair share, right? They're gonna have to get a higher property value tax, which is the people that probably are going to be the least able to afford it. But anyway, I don't believe that. I think it's going to go up for everybody because that's the way it works usually. But they decided they're going to do that. And then on top of that, still, well, that's already, I don't know, how many percent that's going to be. But they really they want to raise the budget like, 15% or so. And they're like, there's just no way, man. Everybody's just losing their damn minds and saying, nobody can afford that. And so they're trying to figure out how to cut like $5 million. Now, they've already cut like $1 million. And the school board came to the Augusta the meeting. That's why this guy's school board on my mind is because we've been following the Augusta school board for some time now. And Nick Blanchard's work over there and my work over there and getting involved with Martha Witham and all that. Well, they sent the B team. Martha Witham didn't find it important enough to either show up for the court appearance last Friday on the free speech case that Nick Blanchard has brought against the city of Augusta, nor did she make a show for the very important meeting the other night on Tuesday evening at the city council meeting, right? So, also, who didn't show up? Thibodeau said the assistant, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And Thibodeau was the one that worked out the whole budget crunch numbers. And so basically what it was they sent the B team and it was a real class B act, okay, and nobody in the city council was impressed. They're like, we don't want to be doing your budget business for you, and you really should have had this done before, and you had the opportunity, and this was supposed to be a deadline this last Tuesday, and so what now what, okay? And so people spoke and, said, well, this, we want, we're in favor of raising it. And there's other people going, well, people are going to lose their minds if we raise the taxes as well. And they're trying to settle it like 5%, I think, which is still, and they got to cut a ton of money. And Mike Tracy was there, and I tell you, boy, he got mad. Oh man. He was steamed because of the guy who said, hey, what the hell? You guys had all this time and you're not doing the work. And then because he's like, the guy said, it was hilarious. He says, I don't know if you're aware, but they do broadcast and record those meetings, don't you? Yes. Yeah, and so he's basically saying, I watched it, and you guys just kicked the can down the road, is what he said.
Yeah,
I'm
they were in the
paraphrasing.
final meeting for the budget.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple redos, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right. So now they're forced to go to this special meeting on a Thursday.
were they at 22% increase?
I think so.
And they're trying to get down to that 16 now, I think, with the
Holy
first
crap!
cut.
Yeah, they're
trying to cut
get,
it to
they're
6
trying to get it
or
to
less.
5 or 6%,
It's going to take
which
another
is
$4
like
million.
is like $5 million. I think like 2.4 and 2.6, 2.4 from the school, $2.4 million from the school. Okay, holy shit! I don't know what. Do you know what the total budget is for the school? I don't know.
No,
We try to look at some of these numbers, but the one report was 200 pages. Well, the city manager's report was like 200 pages, and we didn't use the. We were going to use the AI to analyze it and stuff, but anyway, still they got to cut $2.5 million, and so the budget's got to be like shit. It's got to be like 15 to 20 million dollars.
yeah.
And they're trying to add in start some new program in Augusta, where some reintegration specialist, and or some shit like that. Diversity it's not what everybody thinks it is. It's a get the troubled kids back in school somehow so that they can get some sort of degree, which it's not. It's a noble cause. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad idea to do. But it's they're cutting science teachers, man. All right, and they have these people like Jan Rollins, who's the wife of a state rep, who wanders into these meetings and goes, test scores are just not any indication of how critical thinkers and independent minds that we are raising here in Augusta. And I'm going, critical means that it's like critical race theory and critical, like in the Bible, they call it critical theory, different critical theories. It means critical of a current established idea. Right. So when they're saying critical, they're not saying we're going to weigh all the information and then critically evaluate it. Oh, hell no. These people are going, how do we figure out how to tear down the existing hegemony, right? The existing ideology or paradigm that exists, and how do we subvert it and undermine it? Because they're dang commies. They're communists, I'm telling you. I've got to just stop holding back and not telling you exactly what's going on. The hour is late, people. We're actually dealing with communists. And I know it's crazy. It's hard to believe. So anyway, they seem to be, I don't know, they're officially late as of right this second. All right, so anyway, well, there you go. They're not late.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me go over there and see.
Oh, they're in the big people seats.
Big people chairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me see if I get the sound.
Okay. So we're having really weird weather. It's like getting it down in the 29, 30 range at night.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
I'm not gonna fool
for all.
Nick's live stream if he's doing it.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on it.
All right, thank you.
Let me make this bigger for us, guys. So it's good to have you if you're here. Hang with us. This is going to be fun.
So
Just
in
me.
case you're wondering why we're all gathered here tonight, purpose of this special meeting, and it's just a single item special meeting,
You turn me up.
is for purposes of a public hearing about the FY 2027 city and school budget. Couple of ground rules, I guess, before we get started. We've got a full room here.
He's
We've
got
the
his
lecture
suit
hall
on, man.
downstairs for anybody in overflow. Very comfortable down there.
Wow.
You'll be able to watch what's happening up here.
They got
From that room
overflow.
down
It's
there.
packed. Holy
The
shit.
only thing is you won't be able to
Oh, is it?
testify from down there. So if you're down there and you want to testify, you'll have
We
to
didn't
come
go
up at
because
an
I'm not an
opportune time to
Augusta
do it.
resident. And
We want to
For
get back to live
purposes of the
streaming.
public hearing,
Practice.
let me share with you how I'd like to proceed. Sometimes
Well,
we have public hearings, we have an application, and we
school
take
board is
comments
different.
for and against, and either for nor against, whatever. I don't think that's going to work as well here. We'll just take the comments as they come. And they're going to be limited to the school and city budget, naturally. We have a big crowd here, so I'm
See,
going to
they
do my
were
best to
going to
keep
talk about the school
comments
budget. I asked
to
Nick.
3 minutes or less.
I said, mention
so if
you
you
need to drop the DEI and SEL programs.
Right.
And he's like, "What's not a school board meeting, dude?"
Most
it's
of us
about the
can get our
budget.
points across in 3 minutes.
But
and
it's
do it
about their
well.
budget.
When you come to speak, we'll have you come to the podium to speak. State your name. I assume most everybody's from Augusta, but if you're not from Augusta, please let us know, so we know that as well. If you, we're not going to engage in debates with individual council members or the city manager. If you have comments you're
I kinda
addressing,
wish I would've gone,
the
but-
mayor and the bench as a whole. And this is not the time and place to get into a debate. We're not going to have a real back and forth with you. The purpose of being here tonight is to hear from you, take your testimony and your comments and concerns and gratitudes, whatever you have to say. And we'll take that into consideration. When everybody's had their say, we're going to close the public hearing and we'll adjourn our special meeting. This is also a regular meeting night for the city council. This is a night when we regularly have informational meetings, and we plan to have an informational meeting immediately following this meeting. An informational meeting, for those of you who don't know, is an opportunity for the council to discuss whatever topics we have on our agenda. We don't take votes, but it's an opportunity to share information, discuss things. If anybody's curious, wants to know, looking ahead at our informational meeting tonight, we're going to have someone speak to us about ranked choice voting, our rebranding initiative, talking about public-private transportation opportunity, and if time allows, the council is going to continue its wrap-up discussions, considering some more information that we got overnight from the superintendent and from the city manager, as well as comments that we hear from tonight. We may or may not finish our wrap-up tonight. If not, we've still got a little bit more time. The first reading of our appropriation resolve is a week from tonight. The appropriation resolve is read twice, so we do have an opportunity to make adjustments right up through the second reading of our appropriation resolve, which will be two weeks from tonight. Right, okay. I hope that's clear. Have I missed anything, council? All right. So again, the public hearing is open for purposes of taking testimony, public comment with respect to the FY27 city and school budget.
But
Who'd like to begin? Mrs. Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, Jared, well, manager. Okay. I don't know how to cut things to 3 minutes. I'm a talker, but I'll do my best.
well,
That's
you
why I
just
warned you.
wasted about 20 seconds, lady.
This is the first time I've ever felt like I've needed to speak up about the budget. I well understand our city's situation in that we have a lot of property owned by the state that we don't get taxes from, and plus the other organizations that operate. But that's just the reality of being a small capital. However, and I think you've all done a great job in being able to hold us back the way you have over the years, but things have a time to just catch up. As far as myself goes, a lifelong resident of this city that I love dearly, and I would do anything for it if I could. But I decided just to look, first of all, I look back over my own history, times when I have been a single mom, for instance, and a homeowner. I'd work 2 jobs if I had to before I'd go ask for any help. Always wanted to do my fair share. As a senior citizen, we're all facing, well, we're facing perhaps losing Medicare or Social Security. It's supposed to run dry by 32, but if this current administration has their way, what are we going to do? There goes our income. I was very fortunate when my husband passed away, when I reached a certain age, that my Social Security, I got his Social Security.
Wonder if they're
I
gonna
could
cut her
never have
off.
made it as a homeowner here in Augusta on what I was getting on my own Social Security. I decided to just look up some information for the state and Kennebec County. And I looked up, I wanted to know what the income limits looked like. For one person, 57,900 is low. 36,200, very low. Oh God, I'm below very low. And I just don't know how, if we have to keep having big increases like this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Most of you know my son has a small home business, so we share the taxes, but I still have to worry about how's he ever going to handle it alone.
I
I'm
would like.
83,
I wonder
so
how
who
long she's
knows?
gone on. I'm just curious.
But and then I mean, so much of this is just so unreal to me. And let me just tell you why. I look at these incomes. I worked for years in administrative positions, and I had the good fortune of being in Augusta, where many
They're
of
gonna
these
feel like a real
positions,
jerk if they
private
cut this lady off.
organizations, went by what the state pay range was. So I never made big money that my friends living in Brunswick or Portland doing the
She's
same
just a
thing
sweet old
would.
lady.
Anyhow, I'm here,
So,
and this is what I have to deal with.
Connie,
Over 3 minutes.
we're over 4 minutes now.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm adjusting on the fly, but
That's
if you could
okay.
wrap up.
That's okay. I think you get my point, and I thank you all. And I'm probably going to sneak out of here early because I have to go home and do 2 Augusta pages. I work.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks for letting everybody know. Oh my gosh. I hope
My name's Andy Hill. I'm on the east side of Augusta.
I hope somebody says what I was going
I
to
just
say.
want to
Then I'll feel better about not going.
appreciate the city council. I know you guys have a hard job, and it's going to be particularly hard this year, given the size of the budget that's been proposed. I want to clearly state that I am with the mayor, who back in the early stages of the reassessment said, let's get to zero. So I really hope that somehow or other you find it within your capabilities to get this budget down to zero, because
Good
right
luck.
behind it, we have a reassessment that's going to change residential taxes regardless.
Right.
So I'm all for the get to zero. My one thing that I think might help, and I agree with Councilman Jenkins, that we have to grow out of this problem that we have. I was disappointed a couple years ago when people were looking at economic development for Augusta, and everybody was excited to go look for grants, because grants is not going to grow you out of the problem that you have with your budget. So I'm hoping that the economic development team works diligently to bring businesses into the city. That's where I think we can be successful on the long term. Lastly, the one thing that I think Portland, when they went through their budget problems, they looked at 501c organizations within the city to find out whether they're tax exempt, whether they still have a 501c designation. And they actually found some revenues because some of those properties hadn't been readjusted. So looking at 501Cs, looking at these community solar, I know that you put in a lot of community solar, and I know the state doesn't allow you to do the personal property tax on the equipment, but what about the land? Did that stuff go through without paying property taxes? I don't know the answer to that, you do, but I would think the community solar systems ought to be made available. And lastly, the state. So the state's been jumping around a lot. They go into this building, they use this building for a little bit, they build a new building, they all move over there. So, you know, I'd go back again to your assessors or whoever's doing the zoning and say, you know, does the state still own this building? Does somebody own this building? Is it a private person that owns this building? They shouldn't be getting the state exemption. So I'm just suggesting that, you know, kind of turning over those leaves and looking at those zoning
Do an audit?
ordinances and who's got what would be a way to at least distribute the upcoming property taxes more fairly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, these people all sound so damn reasonable. And I wonder if anybody's going to get up and go, stop with the queer stuff, stop with this learning stuff, social emotional learning junk with the kids. That's such a waste of money.
Mayor O'Brien, members of the City Council, Mr. Mills. My name is Andrew Dent. I live on Fairbank Street, and I'd like to take a moment to comment on the proposed municipal budget cuts. But before I do, I want to express that I understand the position behind these proposals. In a time when most Mainers, myself included, struggle to afford the rising cost of living, I understand the impulse to do whatever is necessary to stave off higher property taxes. But I also feel that a property tax increase is a far smaller risk to our community than the devastation of public services these cuts would unleash. Without sufficient funding, our public schools will be unable to sufficiently
he's a good little
equip future
communist.
generations and improve their lifetime earnings.
Yeah.
LIFCO will be unable to
More
satisfactorily
taxes
ensure
on people.
everyone, regardless of their
What the
station in
hell?
life, can access information freely, and our parks will fall into greater despair.
Yeah, and the schools will fall even further from
Narrowing
47th to...
opportunities for Augusta people to enjoy the benefits of
Come
nature
on.
and outdoor leisure. Where these cuts are almost certain to disproportionately impact the disadvantaged in our city, I think it's important to ask whether these cuts deny the right of our less fortunate neighbors to pursue happiness as prescribed by the Declaration, our state constitution, and better
barf.
themselves as members of
But
our
the homeless
community.
people?
Do they sacrifice investments that could have produced substantial benefits in the future? Do they align with who we are as citizens of Augusta, as Mainers, and as Americans? I don't envy you your position. Maine's municipal governments are regularly forced to make impossible decisions with artificially few options. But I still hope, before you decide to proceed or not proceed with this proposal, that you will consider these questions and act accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Do you think he knows he's gay yet?
Brent in the red?
Gee.
Good evening. My name is Carly Wiggin, and I work for the Augusta School Department. I'm here to ask you to support the school department's budget as presented so that positions like mine, the reintegration specialist, are not cut. If you watch the school board budget meetings, you know this is one of the proposed eliminations. This position, along with all staff in the Augusta School Department, are vital to the success of educating our students. In my role, I work with students who struggle academically, socially, behaviorally, and with attendance. One of the ways I support these students is through Freshman Academy, a program designed for ninth graders who need additional support to stay on track and prevent dropout. Many of these students are at high risk and don't qualify for other services, making this their only structured support. We know that earning credits freshman year is one of the strongest predictors of graduation. That's what we focus on. But we also focus on the skills behind that: time management, organization, decision-making, and most importantly, we build relationships.
Oh,
I want to share
God,
with you some words that one of my students wrote to me recently. Dear Miss Wiggin, you are definitely one of my biggest role models. I'm very grateful to have you as a
Mrs.
teacher.
Wiggins.
Thank you for showing me to better manage my time and showing me to care about the things I do or say. This is the important work that is being done. Beyond the classroom, I lead truancy interventions, which includes making contact with families,
I'll be right back.
holding
hang on.
meetings to develop intervention plans, and conducting home visits when nothing else is working. Without this role, students who are disengaged can easily slip through the cracks. This work takes time, trust, consistency. It's not something that can simply be absorbed by an already overextended staff. I urge you to support the school department budget as presented so we can continue to provide this level of support and ensure that our most vulnerable students have the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we lose some lights, or is it just a flicker?
Dim the light. Somebody hit the switch.
Can we get them back? All right, we'll do. In the front on the corner, I'm going to kind of move back and forth.
Hi, my name's Marianne McKinnon, Augusta, Maine. First, I want to thank everybody in the city for their service. I'm like a big fan of the city. I think that animal control, public works, I don't have a complaint with anybody here. Town, everyone has always been generous, kind, respectful, helpful. I think we have one of the best city services around. I'm just always amazed by it. But what I'm really scared about, and I might be at the wrong meeting tonight, is I'm really scared about this tax thing that I've been reading about in the newspapers. And personally, as a retired person, the numbers that were out there, my taxes might go up about 35%. I don't know if that's correct on the numbers, but my Social Security COLA amount for next year is 2.8%. So you're seeing my struggle here. I want to pay my fair share, but I don't know how long we can sustain this as retired people and people of low wealth. So this is a proposal, an idea
What did
that
I
I want to
miss?
share with you, is that apparently the state of Maine made, it's 36 MRS, Chapter 907A. And what it is it's the Augusta City can provide a program where seniors 60 and above can volunteer to get a reduction in rate on their taxes up to $1,000 per household per year.
You know what I think?
You'd have to come up with
I
the
think
program.
one of these
and
damn
we have to volunteer.
these people need to
at a
volunteer for the schools
$15.10 rate
for this
per household.
reintegration
That's about 66
specialist.
hours of volunteer work per year. I just want to say that I'm a certified Wilson reading tutor. So for the schools, you could have 65 hours of reading tutoring on my dime.
See,
You couldn't afford me at the
at a tutoring
rate
rate.
of $15.10 if you were going to hire me privately. But there might be things that us as seniors can do.
Yep, this lady's
to
got
help.
good ideas,
Maybe we can stand and help with your crossing guards,
like
or I
reintegration
don't know, you can
specialists.
stand when people vote, to get them in and out the door. For 65 hours, I think we could come up with things. We don't have money, but we have time.
Yep, that's
So
right.
it's an idea.
Smart lady.
I don't know anybody in Maine that's doing it. I think they do it in Massachusetts. So
I think it's cool.
anyway, that's all I got. Thanks.
We think
Out of the
we
box
think
thinking. I
Auburn might
like
be
it.
doing it, but we brought it up at one of our most recent meetings as something to look at too. All right, thank you. Second row, glasses.
Man,
Is this Nick? Glasses?
no.
Good evening, members of the City Council. My name is Emily Dustin, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Hussey School.
Don't fire me.
I'm here to speak as both a teacher and as a parent. My child also goes to the Hussey School. I'm deeply concerned about the potential cuts to our schools and the negative impact that it
Stupid
will
name for
create.
school, Hussey.
Our children benefit from stable, well-supported learning environments where they can receive individualized attention, participate in enriching opportunities, and build strong, trusting relationships with educators. Budget cuts erode these conditions. The cuts to the budget are not just numbers on a page. They show up in our classrooms, in the faces of students who need support, and in the daily work of our educators who are already stretched thin. When funding is cut, class sizes grow, support.
I hope Nick mentions. I asked him to, and he said it's not a school board meeting, but they're talking about the school board budget, man, which is kind of why I'm a little ticked that I didn't go. But really, they need to cut all the DI and SEL. He needs to say that. It's the nonsense programs, the touchy-feely crap. You understand what I'm talking about. Don't cut the science. Okay? Cut the damn something else.
Will be the ones most affected. These are the children who cannot afford for us to step back. This goes beyond the budget. It reflects who we are as a community.
Yeah, but you
Do we
can't
choose
function
to
above the
support our
numbers,
children
lady.
when they need it most, or expect them to be successful with less when they already have the bare minimum?
See, this is the problem with women.
Weeks at Huzzy, I was welcomed into a community of educators whose first priority is giving students the best education and support possible.
All what you just said is fine, but how do I make that into a number that fits my numbers that we got to meet? That's all there is to
The
it.
classroom teachers, special ed teachers, interventionists, support staff, administrators, specialists, secretaries, custodians, cafeteria workers, every single one of them is essential. I don't just see this as an educator, I see it as a parent. I see it through my child who proudly calls himself a Huzzy Bear, who is excited about learning, who feels a sense of belonging,
Feel
and
touchy,
who already looks ahead
wonderful,
with
don't
excitement
cut
to
the
attend
budget.
Coney one day. I've watched my child grow this year, not just academically, but as
The
a
schools are
confident,
failing,
well-rounded
man.
young person. And that growth didn't happen by accident. It happened because Augusta schools have made a commitment to inclusive, supportive education.
Inclusive.
That kind of environment doesn't exist without people. It does not exist without adequate staffing, and it will not survive deep cuts.
Cut the staff. That
Any
has to do
further
with
reduction will have an
inclusiveness.
immediate and damaging impact on our schools. It will strain the very systems and relationships that make this community work. And once those cuts are made, the damage is not easily undone. Rebuilding lost staff, lost programs, and lost trust is difficult and often more costly than maintaining them in the first place. Our schools are the heart of our community. When we weaken them, we weaken all of us. I urge you to reject the potential cuts and prioritize the needs of our
It's
students.
not happening.
Thank you for your time and for the responsibility you carry in making these decisions.
They have to cut
Thank you.
a lot of money, man. $2 million, lady. $2 million. Those are cold, hard facts. And you know, if they would be number 3 in the nation or in the state, I'd be like,
Mayor,
dude,
City
don't cut the
Council,
funding
I don't
to
envy your
the
position
schools.
at all. But in reviewing my history years ago, and we were dealing with the same issue, the situation came up where we thought possibly we could ask the considerable nonprofits in our city to contribute where they're not paying property taxes. I think that
Go
is
to
a
the
great time
nonprofits and NGOs.
to maybe initiate something along those lines. I've been doing my homework, as I usually do. The city assessor's office was very nice and gave me a list of over 600 nonprofit organizations in this city.
You can go
They're not
begging.
all the state, they're not all municipality. They're anywhere from dog shelters to boarding homes to housing.
She's telling them
You
to
name
go
it, They're
begging
in here for one reason or another.
NGOs.
What struck me the most was shortly after the Bread of Life took their 13th piece of property on Spruce Street, they sent us a lovely letter saying that they would be great neighbors, wanted to do what was best for the community.
Well,
In their letter,
what's Bread of Life? A Christian ministry?
remark that they are a $12 million nonprofit organization. Yes, they
So?
do good. Our hospital, Main General, does well. for our citizens as well as citizens outside of the community. But I really think it's time to think seriously about the proliferation of our nonprofit organizations and how they
I agree.
contribute to our society.
How about
I
they
know
shut them down?
They help Augusta people as well, but they're bringing in a lot of people from other communities
Mm-hmm.
that use our services other than just those organizations that I have listed here. In my point, after living here for 35 years, we've seen this happen slowly over the years.
Problem
My
is they won't
neighborhood
give up the
is not the
money.
neighborhood it was 30 years ago. My evaluation should go down, not
Yeah,
up. And I
right.
think that's the case in a lot of the areas in the
Whoa.
city of Augusta. My feeling is there are more people in the wagon than pulling the wagon, and I think it's time to look closely
Right.
specifically at our nonprofit
The
organizations.
value's going up and the houses are deteriorating. Okay, because people can't afford to pay their freaking property taxes, can't afford to maintain it as well.
Along the wall?
Puh. I wish I would have gone.
Hello. My name is Katrina Ray Salas. I want to thank you all for taking on this job of serving our community. You're facing an impossible task.
Oh,
Because
no.
no matter how this budget lands, somebody in this room is going to be mad about it, right? And that sucks. But that's the great struggle of those who serve in the positions that you have all been so brave as to take on. And I just wanted to take a moment to commend you for that. What I'd like to speak to, though, is the importance of
I
not
like the
losing our
mayor. He's
balance
pretty
through
well.
this process. You're not just balancing a budget, you're balancing our community. You're determining how and where to invest our resources to keep our city running, as well as how to keep it healthy and happy. Yes, it is important to keep taxes at an affordable level. As an Augusta homeowner, I feel strongly about that, but it's equally important to support the resources
she
we
was
need
like
for our community
14.
to thrive. Study after study shows that community resources, like the ones on the proverbial
She's a
chopping block
homeowner.
tonight, lower the risk of our community members facing incarceration, addiction, and homelessness.
Shows you what
When
good
we invest in our
judge of
community
age I am.
resources, like the Lisco Library, our
Well, she's not real
schools,
confident,
our
so-
parks, and others, we aren't just creating fun resources or sinking our money into these things, we get a return on our investment. We're building the foundation of a healthy community. I know we've all heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but for those who haven't, I'm a college professor, so I'm gonna get a little nerdy. And I have a
Cool.
visual.
Oh, no.
This is the theory that there's a 5-tier hierarchy to our needs, with physiological needs like air and food on the bottom
Okay, yeah.
being most important, followed next by safety, love and belonging, esteem, and finally creativity and self-actualization on top.
Yeah, right.
The theory, of course, being that when you're hungry, it's harder to be creative. When you're feeling unsafe, it's harder to feel love.
Oh, shut
I
up
wouldn't
now.
dare argue against this theory. I'm an English professor, not a psych professor. But I do know that
You should get rid of the
I've learned
touchy-feely
through
shit at
reading
the
all of these
top.
different studies how all of these steps on,
Feed the
on the
kids
hierarchy
first.
of needs kind of work more like a web than a hierarchy.
Oh,
when I'm
she's-
feeling
it's a web,
feeling
not a
low,
hierarchy.
Suffering from depression, it's hard to eat. The fastest way to snap me out of that, however,
To
is
give you a hoagie?
actually for me to go to the library. Because at the library I find safety, love and belonging, and self-actualization.
Oh,
Feelings of accomplishment,
jeez.
like the feelings one can get
You
from
cannot
speaking their
afford to
truths directly to elected
self-actualize when you
officials,
don't have the
can
money.
increase our feelings of safety
You buy the
because it gives
food
us
first.
ownership
This
over
lady
a part
doesn't
of the
understand a
democratic
thing about
process.
Maslow's hierarchy of
When
needs.
a child is struggling to have a need met at home, perhaps love and belonging, it may be that one staff member
they're not
that
gay
remembers
enough
that they like unicorns that makes
supported.
them feel love.
Love.
And that love can be the thing that can put them on the best path
Oh.
forward. When our schools are properly staffed, our libraries properly funded, it does more than just meet that one need within our community. All of those needs intersect and they all work together. When teenagers participate in school sports or attend library events, it cuts down on the likelihood that they will one day have their photos shared on Augusta's Wanted Wednesday alerts on Facebook. When children have access to a public library, they're more likely to grow up to be productive members of our society and our democracy. I would present myself, the daughter and granddaughter of 2 librarians, as evidence of that. Oh, wow. So again, I want to thank you for taking on this monumental
And it
task
looks
of
like
the
what
city
you would
budget,
think
and
if
encourage you
2
to remember
librarians
that when
got
we
together
cut
and had a
community
baby.
services like libraries and education, we're cutting more than just those services. We're kneecapping our community's foundation and
Well, she even
setting
admitted
ourselves
it.
up
She
for more
does look
struggles as
geeky.
time moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, she's a self-attested geek.
Yes.
Stop.
Hi, good evening. My name's Lynette Humble, and I'm here as a resident of Augusta, and I'm here as a concerned parent, but also a very lucky parent. I'm lucky because my child is bright, and because she goes to Farrington Elementary, which is a wonderful place for a kid to be. Within a few weeks of my daughter starting kindergarten at Farrington, it became clear that she needed more of a challenge. And the staff at Farrington agreed, and they worked quickly to have her assessed and to move up to 1st grade. She's now finishing her 2nd grade, and she's testing high in IXL for math and reading. This spring, we were notified that she was going to be screened for the Gifted and Talented program.
Okay, cool.
She's already told us that her testing days have been her
There's-
favorite days.
That shows
because she
like I
gets to
got
do new
0 people
exercises
watching
with other
everywhere.
kids, and she gets to think. Now, I've
Oh,
learned
really?
that one of the programs on the chopping block as part of the proposed budget cuts is the
Yeah,
Gifted and
X
Talented
doesn't
program,
report, Rumble doesn't
along with
report.
other interventions for kids who need extra
Facebook
assistance. And I'm
does.
dismayed by this.
Oh, I got
Whether
one.
it's children who have challenges or children
No,
who
I
need to
thought
be
somebody had
challenged,
somebody on YouTube.
it's our responsibility to give the kids in our community what they need to succeed and to reach their full potential. And these resources need to be available within the public school system in order for them to be accessible for all children.
Where are you going to get the money?
One of the questions on the permission form for the Gifted and Talented program was very telling in this regard. It asked, what are some special activities or opportunities your child has had? And as a parent who tries to do right by her kid, I paused when I heard this question because the examples that were given, clubs, activities, lessons, trips, these are all things that cost money. Traveling to new places.
I had your microphone
outings
off
to museums and
for a
discovery
bit.
centers.
I think it was the
STEM camps,
crunchy or
private tutoring,
something.
extracurriculars.
Sorry, you're back on.
Those are
Oh,
things
why,
that are
thank you.
cost prohibitive for a lot of families in Augusta. And the only way that children will get enrichment is through the schools that they attend here in our city. For the
Are
families who
women
have bright kids in
capable
our
of
public
putting
schools and
together
who maybe can afford these things,
thoughts
I'm
that are
actually worried that those
logical
families will leave.
instead of just
If they have the ability
feely-oriented
to, they'll
crap?
move, or they'll send their kids to private schools that can better meet their
I mean,
needs.
seriously.
And the divide within our community based on income level between families who can afford special opportunities and those who can't.
I'm going to
is
shut
only
you
going
off
to
again.
grow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So for the sake of our kids, for all of our kids who are exceptional for different reasons and in different ways, I'd ask you to please reconsider making cuts to these programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Stacy?
Oh, is it Stacy Stinkowitz? No, she's on the
No,
council.
she's on the council, yeah.
Well, what? Stacy, somebody else? Must
Good
be.
evening, Stacy Fortunato. I do live in Augusta.
Fortunato.
Good evening, counselors,
Is
city
she,
manager.
is she on the
She was
gardener
on the
board?
I'm
Gardner?
here tonight as a parent
Yes.
of a graduate and a current
No, she's
freshman at
Augusta
Coney
School
High
Board.
School, a taxpayer and a former Augusta School Board member.
Oh, there you go.
I'm here tonight because our schools are at a breaking point, and the decisions made in this room will determine whether things get better or significantly worse
Lady,
for the
you
children
just
of this city.
tore up this
For
school
years,
district
our
on the
district has
board.
been asked to absorb cut after cut, shortfall after shortfall. We've stretched every dollar, eliminated positions, consolidated programs, and pushed staff to do
You
the
can
work
cry
of
all
2 or
you
3
want to, people.
There's nothing left to trim that doesn't
Yes,
directly
there
harm
is.
students. This is not an opinion. It's the lived reality of families, educators, and administrators across Augusta.
Wow.
These are the adults who teach our kids, supervise them, intervene when they struggle.
Teach
and
them
keep
homo stuff.
As someone who sat on the school board, I know exactly how hard the district works to protect classrooms, but we are out of room. When funding falls short, the consequences are immediate and unavoidable. Larger class sizes, fewer intervention supports, reduced programming, and increased turnover. These are not abstract concerns. They are daily conditions for Augusta's kids. As a parent, I see the impact on students who lose access to programs that keep them engaged and motivated. As a taxpayer, I know that underfunding schools doesn't save money. It shifts costs to the future through lower property values, weaker workforce development, and greater strain on social services. We cannot keep pretending that our schools can withstand endless reductions.
They're
They can't.
failing.
And our kids shouldn't have to.
They're failing.
Our students' needs are not shrinking, they're growing. Our multilingual learner
You're not
population
delivering
has
to
more than
them,
doubled in 4
Stacy.
years, from around 120 students to over 260. These students are learning English, navigating a new culture, and trying to
Oh,
find
well,
their
maybe
footing.
you should cut those
They need targeted
positions.
language instruction, and right now the funding
Maybe
doesn't
they
yet
should
match
pay
the
their
demand.
own language
Special
translators.
education costs are rising even faster. Out-of-district tuition and transportation have increased by double-digit percentages in some years. When special education expenses outpace revenue, the
The
district has
schools
to
shouldn't
cut
have to teach
elsewhere.
English.
And that elsewhere is often general education.
They need to do night
intervention,
school for
or
English,
enrichment.
and then they come to day
I
school.
see the ripple effects. I
Forget
see
that
teachers
shit.
stretched thin. I see students who need more support than the current staffing levels can provide. I see programs that used to be standard now treated as luxuries. When we talk about cutting arts, music, electives, athletics, or after-school programs, we're talking about,
How about the
cutting
science
the very
teacher?
things that make school meaningful for so many kids. These programs are where students find
Yeah,
their
but the hierarchy of
confidence, their
needs is you
community,
don't
and
need a
sometimes
soccer
even their
team.
reason to show up.
You need a science
Sorry.
teacher.
Strong
See?
schools are not just an educational issue, they're a community issue.
Are you going
They
to
stabilize
cry?
property values. They attract families.
Don't cry,
They prepare
Stacy.
the next generation of workers, leaders, and neighbors. Every reduction that we make today becomes a cost we all pay later.
Let me tell you something. All these educated people,
Tonight,
they can't ever
I'm
make a
asking you to take
speech without reading
responsibility
it.
for the long-term health of this
No one
community
ever
and to
does it
fully
but
consider
me and
the
maybe
cumulative
Nick and a
damage
couple other
that years
people.
of financial strain have already caused. Augusta's children deserve stability. Our educators deserve support. And our city deserves a school system that reflects our values.
How about a
not the
school
lowest
system that
budget line.
actually
Thank you.
ranks well and tests well, Stacy? That's what Augusta
Yep.
deserves.
In the green.
Always more money. It's always more money. More money will fix it.
Oh, I
Good
know.
evening, and thank you for giving me a moment to
Horrible.
speak to you all. I'm Gabrielle Barabee Pierce. I am an Augusta homeowner. I am the parent to 2 kids over on the west side in Augusta Public Schools. And I am once again here before you this evening to implore you to finish our citywide property valuation and raise my taxes to pay for the essential services that I, as a taxpayer, expect from a city like Augusta. When I moved back to Augusta in 2019, I expected to be able to bring my kids to the library on Saturday mornings and to Bicentennial Park on hot summer days. I expected our public schools to reflect the community it educates, to be an inclusive and engaging environment
Who
where
did
our
you vote
children feel
for?
safe, respected, and welcome. I expected my property taxes to increase as my home values increase.
Oh, 'cause
based
you're a
upon
Democrat.
My investment in my community and the city's investment in its people. What I did not
Tax
expect
me harder,
was to have
Daddy.
to appear before this council year after year to defend the essential services that bring families like mine to this city. I've heard people suggest that we should demand more cuts from our schools because they don't rank among the highest echelons of public schools.
How
across
about the
state.
people that have the kids
Suggestions
pay
like
the
these ignore the
taxes
reality
for the
that we have
schools?
for years
Would that be a
disinvested
crazy
in our
idea?
public schools, and that has impacted our all-important test scores. Now is the
Yeah,
time
they
to
all are
invest in our
important.
schools. The only way to grow our way out of these vague problems is to invest in our schools, invest in our parks, invest in our public-facing resources that attract and
Oh, I
retain
wish I would've
families like
gone.
mine
Oh,
here
my
in the
Lord.
city. My children attend Augusta Public Schools. We anxiously await our book reservations from Lithgow Library. In the summer, my children participate in camp at Bucher, and in the spring and fall, we head over to the Carver Fields for rec soccer. There is nothing
Man, do your own
sorry,
intramural
left
teams.
to cut in our school board budget this time.
My football team was
And
intramural.
it is time for us to all
It was
grapple
all
with the
outside. It was
reality that the
volunteer
economy of
coaches.
2026
Yeah, my
requires
mom and dad did that
different
too.
resources than the economy of 2000 of
We
20
went
years
out,
ago.
sold candy
I know
bars,
my economic situation has changed
got
substantially since
donations.
2006.
Yeah.
And so again, I'm here tonight, just as I
Always
was last year and the
expect
year
the
before
government
that,
to do
ask
everything
you to
for
do the
you.
hard work of addressing the needs of our community and raising the funds we need to stop balancing our budgets on the backs of our children, our grandchildren, and our neighbors. Finish the valuation and ensure that our property taxes reflect the values of our community in 2026 and beyond. Thank you for your time.
They need to leave people that don't have kids the hell out of these property tax increases. And if you want it's soccer on Saturday, go form an intramural league.
And members of the council, first, thank you for your services. I've been in your shoes before as a selectman and 6 years as a state representative, and it is not an easy task. And this year here, especially for you, it's a very difficult task. But I stand in front of you because I'm concerned as a senior citizen on a fixed income.
Would you introduce yourself
I'm
to
sorry,
everybody?
Gary Wheeler. Yep, Ward 4.
Yep.
But I stand in front of you and to speak for the taxpayers that are on fixed incomes and how we could afford a budget that's as proposed as it is now. We all love our schools. We love the services we have. But in these tough times, we all have to dig in and bite the bullet
The
on
voice
some
of reason.
issues.
Here
I
comes
mean,
Daddy's home.
I've made tough cuts too on budgets, and it all works out. But I hope you just think of the senior citizens in this city. It's 23%, I believe, and 11% over 80 years old that are on fixed incomes that just will not be able to afford this budget as it stands now, especially with the reval right afterwards too. I think a lot of us are forgetting that this is not the only increase we're going to have.
No, that's
This
right.
budget, but with the revaluation, it's going to be a big increase, especially when we're at 44% on residential.
Wham,
So
bam, thank you, ma'am.
I envy you. I mean, good luck, and I hope you do the right thing.
Did he
but
say I
just
envy
wanted
you?
to
He did.
Stand in front of you for the senior citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weller.
What do we do, man? We have somebody on YouTube.
Now's a good time. if
What's
you
up,
wanna-
YouTube viewer? It's been a long time, man.
I know.
The algorithm just doesn't put us in front of anybody.
Hey everyone,
Oh,
my
we
name's
just
Jordan
gotta get
Brandt.
back
I'm
in
a
it.
homeowner here, live on Quimby Street. Thank you for listening to all of us. I know it's an unenviable task. It probably
does he know
seems
he's
so fun
gay?
putting in that first lawn sign, and here you are tonight. I am here as someone who does not have kids. I actually think they're kind of annoying, but I think
Oh, he's an incel.
it is important that we properly
He's an incel.
Oh, look at that beard. Wow.
kids who do not perform well are not going to have a very good life. Hear a lot of nonsense about, well, the test this, test that. You can say all that, but anyone who thinks 2 + 2 = cat is not going to be successful in the working world.
Yeah.
As a counselor last year, who I will not name, sagely said we can pay now or we can pay in state taxes for penitentiaries if these kids have nothing to do and can't be successful in their lives.
25% job.
I'd like to see
dropout.
more funding for the schools, but I'd like to see it going into classrooms. I watched the recording from the other night as the school was presenting their budget.
Yeah.
I totally get it, what Counselor Lynn was saying about some of the problems, and I agree. There are problems at the school system.
Okay.
Losing $3 million should have come with severe penalties for the executives, but that shouldn't impact kids or teachers in the classroom. I think we could probably fund them even better. Where I disagree with some of my fellow residents is that the only way to get out of this is to make the pie bigger. The Census Bureau and the Bureau of Labor Statistics says over the past 5 years, wages are flat. People are not making money, but we're asking them for more and more money.
Uh-huh.
So instead of thinking there's an ever-growing pie, I'd like to see the school's slice of the pie get bigger and other slices get smaller.
Like,
we have
like
a lot
police.
of departments asking for enormous budget increases. Even some that told
Higher?
us last year they had plans for savings. The clerk's office told us we were going to be massively inconvenienced going to vote somewhere else. We'd save all this money, and here they are asking for 16% more. Less work for no money is not how real people make their budgets. And I would hope
Don't
that the
give the
council would look at
schools
that the
more
same way.
money.
No.
We have people who run departments who come and ask for more and more money that don't pay taxes in the city of Augusta.
I
think
want
that's a
them
big
to
problem.
lose so much
If the
money
paycheck is good
that they
enough for them,
learn how to do
the
their
city should be
job
good
with
enough too.
so
If they're not
little, they
gonna
become
feel the
efficient
effect
again.
of asking for more and more money for their departments for whatever reason. And I'm
Same
sure it's
schools
important
schools
stuff,
do the same thing, bro.
that doesn't add up. And I can see why they don't care as much as people who live here might about some of these budgets growing and growing and growing every year when the people who have to pick up the check aren't making any more money. And in fact, they're spending a lot more money on things like fuel, heating their homes, and electricity. So I would hope that this council can look at the entire budget, leave schools alone, maybe even fund them a little more.
Oh
but take
no.
that from other
You're gonna ask the city to cut $5 million
The
bucks?
city would feel the impact.
right.
if
No way.
certain
It's
services,
never gonna happen.
departments, like our IT
Never gonna
department,
probably wants to
had
defund
less
the
money.
police.
Is anyone really gonna lose sleep
Hey,
over
you know
that
what?
at night? Probably not.
This is way more comfortable
I
than
think
being
we
at this
can
meeting.
Oh, I know. See, I don't have to do my
massive
makeup.
budget
And you know what?
increase.
I
don't
could
have to
go
do-
in
hey,
there.
hey,
Schools
hey,
appropriately.
I don't have
maybe
to do
even
my
fund
makeup.
them
That is
better
true.
If
Thank
we
you.
take a hard look at some of the other departments and
Yeah,
places
see,
where
I
we
don't
can save
matter,
money.
right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you know,
This is funny.
you know, I would have just gone up there and said, just quit all the gay shit, okay?
Hey, everyone. My name is Andrew Steinman.
And I would have
Of
pissed
course you
everybody
would
off.
have,
Augusta
honey.
for
That's so
34
predictable
years.
of you.
My family's been a resident of Augusta for almost 90 years.
Wow.
Me and my father own a business together,
Family's
and he
old.
started it 51 years ago.
Wow.
So we have a little bit of history with the city of Augusta. No matter what happens with the tax increase or if it doesn't go through or whatever, I think we really need to address a bigger issue that's happening in the city of Augusta.
Talk to me.
I've been noticing over, my 34 years, the steady decline of the city. When I was in high school at Coney, the population was around 1,100. Now it's closer to 600 people.
Hey.
And I think something that we really need to do to attract
600?
younger families here is to get, the economic development really needs to start booming here. We are pretty stagnant in that field. I don't feel as if we're really that friendly towards businesses. And I think we really need to start addressing that problem, getting more affordable housing in the city, having, more of those projects coming in, allowing businesses that come in that aren't, minimum wage businesses like Popeyes, and stuff like that. That's something that I think we really need to address. I think the tax increase is kind of putting, a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. So that is my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out. Yes.
Hello, my name is Cindy Carter. I'm a retiree, a taxpayer. I don't envy you. You guys got a tough job ahead of you. My question is this. Have you thought about a different revenue stream, user taxes, rather than shifting the burden away from property taxes by using user, where everybody within the city limits shares in the tax burden? An example might be a half penny for all businesses, charge a penny within the city limits. That should be able to generate some income that might be able to relieve the burden that you guys have to do to be able to fund all these programs. That's all I'm asking, is to look into user taxes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yep. Rita.
Hello, City Council, Mayor, City Manager. Thank you for engaging in public comment. My name is Rita Pello, and I'm here today as a tax-paying resident of Augusta on Drew Street. And I'm worried that the detrimental cuts to the parks, libraries, and schools will ultimately cost the residents of Augusta more.
Oh,
With our
they didn't
current
hear us
government
go,
structure, there are so many
oh.
taxes we pay that
We
we have
hate Rita
absolutely
Pello.
no control over. It's only with these local taxes that we get a say, where we have agency in promoting the values we share and to improve our quality of life. I value accessible outdoor recreation. I value all the services and enrichment that the library provides, and I understand the benefits of good schools. I also believe many Augusta residents share these values alongside me, and I've heard some of that tonight. I value our parks as cost-effective recreation and community space. This is especially true as the cost of gyms, summer camps, and other privately owned recreational entities become more expensive. For someone without lakefront property of my own, I'm still able to go to Bicentennial and swim in the awesome three-cornered pond, taking advantage of our beautiful city and state. Others head to the pool with their friends, currently accessible and inexpensive to all. Closing these or reducing hours means families who can afford it will find another place to spend their money to recreate elsewhere. But what about families who cannot afford alternatives? Where do they go and what do they do? I value our libraries and the cost savings it provides. By paying these taxes, I can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars accessing diverse types of programming at the library.
It's people
as
like
well as the ability
this
to check out items at no extra cost.
that
I've
just
checked out books
insist they
instead of
have a
buying,
bunch of
swapped
free
puzzles
damn
there so I don't have to
services all
purchase
the
new
time.
ones. And I've had friends who have
That
rented
the
everything
government
from power tools to sewing machines.
needs
Items that
to
can
provide
cost
all this
hundreds
stuff for
of dollars
everybody.
if you have to purchase them yourself.
It used to be churches.
As a working person, evening and Saturday hours are the most critical so that I can take advantage of what the library offers. Community and candidate forums, which some of you have participated in, art projects, puzzle contests, book talks, game tournaments, and student-led community discussions. All
all
things
over
that
my
happen in
mic
the
stand.
evenings and on
Yeah.
Saturdays, because that's when a majority of our population can access those services. Without these offerings at those times, where would we go? And what alternative do we have? I value our schools for what they do to support our community with robust academic, social, and health services. Our schools are able to meet the needs of students, staff, and families here. The elementary schools teach our kids so much. They lay
Schools
the
shouldn't be involved
foundation,
in health.
and they provide community and enrichment events in the evenings. The high schools provide extracurriculars and
They got
sports
gay
in
clubs.
addition to academics. That keeps young people engaged, evolving, and growing into the adults that can then become the productive members of society. If we had the opportunity, they should too. And if schools don't meet these community needs, what are the other options? How else would we provide a future for our kids? Ultimately, the argument of lower taxes being the only way to ensure affordability is a false one. Flat funding is a snazzy slogan, and it's perhaps easier for individuals to see the direct
It's
benefit,
just a snazzy
but it's
slogan.
misleading because the cost is just moved
Slogan.
over to the individual if those services no longer exist in the same capacity. Our individual dollars
What if
will
I
just
never
not
use
go
a
as
freaking
far
pool?
unless we pool them together
You think
and we share them. So
Aunt
that our
Jemima
services
over here
benefit
used
all,
the pool or
and not
whatever,
just those
Auntie
who can
B or
afford it.
whatever her name was.
Remember
I don't
that
know.
some may be able to afford
She was the
turning to
white
private
lady. I'm
sources
the
for
Aunt
all these
Jemima.
benefits,
Just
but others
what's
will
wrong
have
with
no
you?
Auntie
other
Beth.
option
What is wrong
but to
with you?
live with a declining quality of life. Augusta cannot afford the cuts you're considering, and I hope I have a city council here with me tonight that wants to do more than manage the city's decline. Thank you for your time.
God, you're annoying. Go away.
Is she going for the golf
She
look?
is
I mean, is
such a wicked woman
so
on that
what
school
country
board.
did she come from? She said her parents emigrated here.
Yeah, someplace. She should go home.
Yeah. Okay.
Good evening.
City Manager. My name is Catherine Holloway, Kate for short.
Hi, Kate.
That's a lot of people.
I spent
Yeah,
my
it's good we
undergraduate
didn't
years
go.
in Colorado, returning to Southern Maine where I gained graduate degrees. And in 1985, I acquired an aging farm property on the Churchill Road, known as the Church Homestead, built by Benjamin and Suzanne Church in 1780.
Oh, man.
The family graveyard is still beside my property.
Ooh, that's
a large
spooky.
Cape Cod was hauled down the road by oxen and attached in 1820, so I was told. It's a put-together place that I care about, and I hope you will too. The past 40 years that I've paid taxes on the house and surrounding land leads credence to what I'm about to state. As a backdrop, we view this meeting as one of taxation, reevaluation, and consistency from money in and outflow. You are the conduit. We bear the burden because no one wants to see what's happening here. While Augusta touts being a capital place, what runs underneath is mainly the hardship of tax-exempt properties and the swarm of day workers deriving their salary from the non-taxed office buildings that absorb
Sucking
our
it
land.
right out of the
We pay
City,
city
right?
services, repairs,
The
respond to
roads.
accidents, and wear these costs like an albatross
Yep.
around our tax dollars.
Yep.
They ask for more all of the time, and what we receive is too much carbon fumes. I respect Augusta's time-honored reliability of taking care of so much in this city. The cleanliness we keep on trying to have, and the increasing dilapidated properties, belongings stacked in the yards, damp and soggy and ruinous, that we let stand in the very face of populace who tend to their dooryards meticulously. In a city council meeting last year, the school superintendent surprised us all, stating that the school finance officer, gone now 2 weeks from the job, told him that they had lost $1 million over the course of the year and did not know where it went. Nobody knew.
Shit.
How does that happen?
How does it
I
happen?
always thought
I never heard
educators
that.
Knew. What they did know was to ask for the loss to be covered by the city taxpayer.
Oh.
Who was
I always thought
The
if money was
school
lost,
$1 million.
invest time and effort in figuring it
They
out
didn't know where it
why,
went.
and you accept the corrections
The finance
procedure
officer.
in taking that loss yourselves. It's a responsible act. I do not know
Oh my
if this is
goodness.
if this was investigated. What I do know is that the city council withdrew $1 million from the taxpayer's savings
That's
account
not-
and handed it
Is it?
over.
Okay.
Is anyone other than myself, an armchair Channel 7 viewer, thinking, what the heck? In a recent meeting, we heard from a real estate development investment group with an inroad into federal housing funds. They had a formula that was more than ready to go. That is, it seems the proposal being presented needed immediate approval or all would be lost. The proposition was to secure a tax increment finance funding waiver to develop a homeless housing center, including staff, on Sand Hill. In my mind, and I'm no whiz at details, a TIF waives property taxes to businesses for a time to grow and expand in value, and at the end of the
Nick's
term,
coming up soon.
requires payment
Is
of
he?
property tax, which goes back into the funding loop to continue to promote growth. We are feeding the resource stream. However, there is one hitch to this. If, over that time, the business entity morphs into another nonprofit,
Oh!
then they never pay taxes. The developer stood right here and said that was a likely outcome. They probably would be a nonprofit by the end of this waiver and no longer be ever reliable to pay taxes back into
There
the
you
TIF
go.
fund.
Ms.
Frickin'
Holloway, we're
NGOs.
well over 4 minutes now, so if you could find a way to
Wrap
We have
it
millions of
on it.
dollars in opioid settlement funds currently available that would be guaranteed for a number of years that would be able to fund projects very much like this. I think we need to take time to look at those.
School lost $1 million. Holy
I hope
shit.
that you will consider how to utilize the service,
I'm gonna
utilize
have to
the
ask them about
resources
that
of land
next
we have in this
next week. I
city
go,
and
Yeah.
make us a strong place to live. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks away or something? Gonna have to go and go, I didn't know you guys lost $1 million.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kelsey Lee, and I'm an Augusta resident, homeowner, and parent of 3 children within the Augusta school districts. I am opposed to school budgetary cuts and am deeply concerned at the impact
Of
that these will
course you
have on our
are.
children and our community. I have children who have special learning needs and feel so thankful to our schools for being inclusive to meeting the requirements of all students and worry that the cuts within the budgets will
Inclusive.
directly impact this. I feel grateful to our schools for constantly seeing each child individually, understanding different learning styles, and having staff available to meet the additional needs. During early releases, school breaks, and all the days in between, we find ourselves at Lithgow Library and have come to think of Lithgow as a second home, a place of deep solace and peace. I ask that the budget cuts within our
Deep
school,
solace
library,
and
and
peace.
community
It's
be
like
considered.
literally
Thank
a
you.
temple, guys. It's like going into the house of God. They have all the queer books there too. Did you know that?
Good evening. My name is Tom Keefe, and I'm a homeowner here in Augusta.
I've been following the process pretty carefully, attending the meetings and watching them online.
I've seen this guy
And
before. Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to mention is that it does seem that we're in a situation of a perfect storm. When the city manager opened the process several weeks ago.
This is the
he
guy
named
that's
the
running
elephant in the
against
room, which
Nick.
We've talked about tonight in
This is
terms
the guy
of
that filed ethics
how the
complaint on Nick.
evaluation is going to go, and we don't know that. But I want to name that we also heard from the city manager that the goal potentially is that the mill rate would come down with the evaluation. But again, that's an unknown. What we do know is that
he doesn't
there's
say
been
much.
legislation that has been passed recently by the state in terms of school funding. Won't happen we won't get the money this year, but it is coming. We do know that, and that's, I think, LD 2226. We do also know LD 140 is coming. That's the homestead exemption reform. All of us who are homeowners are going to be able to get more of an exemption on our taxes because of LD 140. That's happening. We also have the one-time $300 credit coming for those who make less than $50,000. That's coming. Those are things that we know.
To buy your
listening
votes.
Tonight, I don't know why, but the old quote from H.W. Bush came to mind, don't change a horse midstream. There are things that are unknown right now. I'm not sure this is the time to make drastic cuts because we need to see how things shake out. And some of the things that get caught, that could be cut, and it's been mentioned by other people already, when you take, for example, the integrated specialist position, that's a position that's based on relationships. That's not, oh, we don't have the money, let's cut it, and then next year, oh, we have the money, let's replace it, right? That's not how it works. It was also mentioned, and I believe, I spoke to a member of the council, I believe this is accurate, the school got $60,000 less in state funding this year, and that was apparently because of a loss of enrollment. Well, if you cut an integrated specialist position whose specialty is to keep people from being truant and keep them enrolled, then, and that's gone, then you are at risk of lowering your enrollment further, which then cuts your state funding further. So I kind of just wanted to stand here in a moment and briefly just kind of talk about all of that interconnectedness that sometimes can
Remember
slip
those
away.
movies we used to
Thank you.
watch about some great teacher that would come in and with a bunch of students that couldn't learn shit, and they came up with this great idea? Where the hell are those teachers?
Oh my God. Oh my
Right?
God. It's not the 80s
Why?
anymore.
No, I'm serious,
can hear me.
man.
Good evening, Mayor O'Brien and council members.
Oh, she's nice New England
As you know,
accent.
I sat on the Augusta School Board for 10 years, and I know a lot of things have changed, just as they have when you were on the school board.
I would never have guessed that she ever sat on a school board,
And
dude.
during my time, we closed Buca School because of money. We closed Hodgkin School because there was no money. We eliminated the biotechnology program. We eliminated the multimedia program, which really offended people and upset people. But there comes a time, if we don't have the money, and we just can't give everybody everything they want. And I understand these people are going to be upset with those comments. I've been there. I've sat there, and I've done all what you've done. But there is also this elderly population, myself included in that we were born and raised here. We love our home. We built our home. But we don't want to be pushed out because our taxes go up, that we can't afford it, because everything is going up. I mean, let's look at the oil and the gas right now. We don't know what that's going to be and where our oil prices are going to be next year and how we're going to afford to heat our homes. Groceries, oh my God, I watch groceries every week. Every week,
terrible.
something goes up.
Yep.
And it's just everything is going up.
Yep.
So there comes
People
a
are losing
time
their
we have
minds.
to decide what we have to do, and we have to think about everybody. I know it's
Gotta
not
tighten
gonna-
the belt,
if they have to
babe.
make cuts, they have to make cuts. But you know, you also have to think about your elderly people, and not just the elderly, everybody. There's a way that this can all work, that we can all work together to figure out what we can do. Some more cuts there, some more cuts here. I know it's hard,
See,
never makes
teachers
anybody happy.
of yesteryear
but we have
are
to do
smarter
the best we can
than
to make it
today's
work for
teachers.
everybody. You know, Steve worked, you know, for the city for 25 years, retired from city. He was the facilities director for the Augusta Civic Center. I mean, it's sad to see all the problems that they've had. And I mean, you know, when Steve was there, it was always, oh, there's no money to fix the Civic Center, maintain it, you know, and it's still going. But I'm just saying there's the ways to fix everything. So I do hope you'll think about everybody, not just the school department. I understand our kids are very important. I mean, I know that they hate to hear the fact that, I think one thing that bothers me is
Get more
I've heard
creative.
from staff that there's like sometimes 7 ed techs in a classroom, maybe more, maybe less,
What?
I don't know. All I know is
They
maybe
have teaching
a
assistants
thought
now?
would be to make a special classroom for those who are having a difficult time and put them all together. I'm not judging, all I'm just saying, my mother was an immigrant. She came from Canada. She couldn't speak English. They didn't
Oh.
have special classrooms. They didn't have any of that. And she learned to speak English and she survived and made it. We have to try to work together to make this work for all of us. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
It's a smart idea, but people will go, you can't segregate them.
Well, they got to get the old
They
people
shouldn't,
not
they
having to pay
shouldn't
property
be
tax.
teaching English while they're trying to teach math. It screws up the math class. Stupid.
You're stupid.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Scott Mocha. I live on Drew Street here in town.
There's a lot of people.
Like others have said, this is a really tough task. Thank you for hearing all of our testimony this evening. I tuned into the meeting on Tuesday, and what I heard was frankly a little concerning. I heard a lot of confusion around the budget process of the school department.
Oh, no.
Councilor Lind, your request on Tuesday evening for budget models from both the school department and the city, I think is essential. We need those models for the public and for the council to understand the trade-offs involved in any further budget cuts.
Yes.
But why did it take us this long to get to that point?
Good point.
This budget process began with a meeting between representatives from the city council and school board over 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That initial meeting needs to set expectations.
It's the school board
And
setting
if I'm
their
not
asses.
mistaken, the same two
It's Martha
councilors have been
Witham's
serving
fault.
as these liaisons between the council and school board in this initial meeting for a number of years. I don't think I'm going out on a limb here when I say that I don't believe they've been particularly effective in fostering a collaborative and process-oriented approach between these two bodies.
Oh.
Being elected from 2 ward seats on the council, these councilors represent just half of the city of Augusta. Mr. Mayor, I would request that next budget season you appoint 2 at-large councilors to serve in those roles. On Tuesday, I also heard a lot about a fairly narrow set of perceptions, but not a ton of facts. We heard about a couple who chose not to move to Augusta because of a perception that our schools aren't good enough and that the taxes are too high. But I would ask the council, how do we intend to combat that perception if we cut essential services and programs within our schools? If we want to see the dropout rate and chronic absenteeism rates improved at Coney,
Throw more money at it.
why are we going to cut positions that help students reintegrate into school after a long absence? It was suggested that Lithgow Library hours, staff, and programming be cut, and that there are other libraries in neighboring communities available to Augusta residents. I would ask the
Again,
council, why
it's a
would
lack of
why would
thinking. The
prospective
person that
homebuyers who
said
value these types of
volunteering,
services choose Augusta
all the
over a
hours
neighboring
that there are
community where the
seniors,
library is open longer,
that person
is
was
better
thinking.
staffed, and has more programming?
You need more
There are a number of
volunteers.
business-minded folks on this council.
You don't need a librarian. You don't need a school librarian.
Right.
You need an old woman that was a librarian.
It's
that's
not a
retired.
school. It's not the school librarian. It's just the library, the city library.
Oh.
I think is what they're.
Well,
talking
I guess
about.
what I'm saying,
Tuesday's
in
meeting,
school.
The facts
Yeah.
I did hear painted
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little different picture. Councilor Sinkowitz shared that our taxes are the 4th lowest out of 19 similar
Oh,
municipalities in this area.
he's a Stinkowitz.
Nobody enjoys paying taxes, but we do enjoy the services they provide. Councilor Morris Polly spoke about the need for the city to better advertise the assets that we already have in this city. I think it's incumbent on the council to push for this effort to bring in more residents and more investment in this city. It's a hard year, and it's tough to stomach another increase in my property taxes, but I'm not willing to give up the services provided by our city. I ask this council to fully fund our parks, libraries, and schools in this budget. It's going to hurt, which is why I expect this council to work harder than ever to build our tax base next year and beyond.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, sonny boy. They got to cut. Cut, cut, cut.
Good evening. My name is Eliza Stein, and I'm a resident of Augusta. I live over off Winthrop Street.
Ton of people.
And I'm
It's good.
actually someone that I think some people here might not really believe exists, which is that I'm a young person who recently moved to Augusta and bought a house with my fiance, and we want to start a family here. But honestly, it really, really pains me to say that I don't know if the city of Augusta has the services that we need in order to raise kids here. I need to know that my kids have a safe place to go after school. Yes, on weekday afternoons and evenings, such as the library, pools, and even Bicentennial Park. I want to be able to take public transportation with my family. Heck, maybe my fiance and I could even sell one of our cars if we had a reliable way to get from our house, which is just 2 blocks away from the Capitol, over to the state offices at Anaheim. I mean, that's not a lot to ask, right? We're a capital city, and we should be setting an example for the other cities and towns of Maine. At this point, I'm hesitant to raise children in Augusta because I don't have faith that the city will invest in its schools and public services.
It's interesting.
I am more than happy to pay taxes that will go towards supporting a better life for my family here in Augusta, and I know many young people with children who want the same. The extra money that we would pay in taxes will hurt, but it will hurt far less than the impact of the cuts to public services into the school district, which the council has discussed. Please help us keep our families in Augusta, a city we want to call home for a long time, and help us send our kids to schools that we trust. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trust. Is that going to be by it?
Cecil?
Yeah, I don't trust anyone with children. I don't trust schools at all.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Cecil Munson. I live on Riverside Drive, and formerly I sat up there with you guys. And the last time I was there, the mayor was with me. And you'll recall that we had a very difficult time in 2008, 2009. It ended up
with furloughs, right?
What?
We furloughed people, right?
No, we laid them off, sir. It was difficult. It's not a good thing to do, but we had to do it. We had no choice. We were right strapped down. And I know that this is not popular, but I used to walk the streets. And I was
That's what
walking
she
the
said.
streets tonight, and I got handed this. And it's the first time I've seen it. And some of you may have this.
I had a
It
button
says
for
the
that.
big picture concern is unsustainable growth. And the first item, it says where spending appears out of line. Personnel costs is the #1 driver. Salaries and benefits are identified as the largest sources of increases. 80% of the employees are unionized with built-in annual increases. Why is that a problem? Costs are compounding annually. They are largely locked in, limiting flexibility. Benefits, especially health care, pensions, often grow faster than inflation. And the takeaway from that is this is a core structural issue. If not addressed, every future budget will face the same pressure. So you can talk about what's going to happen this year, but what's going to happen next year. You know, right now, the federal government has the sniffles financially. They have the sniffles. The state house over here has caught cold. And you all right now are experiencing pneumonia. This is basically how it all comes down. And if you don't address the problem of pneumonia, you can die. I'm not saying you're going to. We lived through this, the mayor and I. It was gloomy at the time. We thought it was going to be the end of the world. But look what happened in the years after that. There was a really good sustained growth here. We did a lot of things. And the mayor was with me on the council when we did those good things. And you continue to do those good things. But it does come at a cost.
I like the mayor.
So basically,
Yeah, he's
I was
got his
looking
head
at
screwed on straight.
A $130,000 house. And right now that tax rate is what, about $3,120 a year? Next year, the valuation on that probably will go to what, 250, 260, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we don't know what the mill rate's going to be at that point. That's where it's going to get a little dicey. I have no idea. And I think a lot of people out in the community have no idea where that mill rate is going to end up with revaluation. They're scared. They are, and people are on Social Security. They're basically, they're property wealthy, but they have very little money from month to month. If you're on Social Security, you don't have a lot of latitude. And I think that's what drives a lot of the fear that's going on.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is that you look at the continuation of the budgeting as we're doing it. It's difficult.
This is the same problem they're having everywhere. Property
really have
taxes
to
are
take
pushing people
deep
out
breath,
of their homes.
and look at the possibility of freezing salaries right at this point, freezing hiring. And we used to do this at the federal level. You lost a position, you had to re-justify it. You couldn't just fill it. You had to show a reason for that. And I think that's one thing you could do here is just, okay, you've got a vacancy, you have to justify that to your supervisor, to your manager. That's his job as to whether or not that position gets filled.
Somebody go.
As far as the school budget is concerned, that really is up to you guys. I'm not advocating one way or the other on this because I leave it to the professionals. You've got a superintendent of schools, you've got a school board, you have the manager here, you got the mayor, and all of you, you're the ones that are responsible for that. I'm not going to say what should happen, but you do have to address this business about personnel costs. It's a number one problem, and it's not going to go away. And that comes right back to FTE, full-time equivalents, and how much can you afford? What can you afford? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, in the back.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Green. I live on Parrington Avenue in Augusta. I'm just here to be supportive, to listen to people. And I grew up in Augusta. I lived in the same block all my life. Raised my children here. My parents were born here, so I'm invested. I said, I agree with a zero rate increase. I've heard many talk tonight, and I've listened with an open heart. But my question to you is, what happens when all these taxes go up and the elderly and the parents cannot afford to pay those taxes? What happens to our homes?
Right.
What happens to our livelihood? Where do we go? With increase in electricity, oil, and water also happening, what happens to the elderly in their homes? Where will they go? Where will they go? What happens to the children when the parents can't afford their homes? We need to make sure that residents have their basic needs met before all else.
Yes.
We are certainly heading that way.
You can't have secure kids unless you got secure parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, folks. My name's Dan Burns, Davenport Street, but I've been here my whole life. Real quick, this year has been kind of difficult for me. A few of you up there know that. But it's been more difficult for my daughter. Now, I won't get into that.
Oh, good.
For my own thing, it's a little embarrassing because I like to walk around thinking that my doesn't stink, but it does, like everyone else.
Okay.
What's he talking about?
I'm the type
His
of person
daughter.
that cut. Your program's not working, get rid of it. Why? Do you need it? Okay. We have someone here. We have the RISP, Carly's position. It's just one of them. That has been instrumental to my family, to my daughter. So you have now a face to that program. Without it, I think that my daughter would have failed this year. We're still dealing with stuff. I don't want to get into hers. These programs are working. You guys are brilliant, and I know a lot of you personally. We can find the money other places or make some cuts that would be appropriate to other things.
Like?
I know that we're all broke. Everybody wants to blame everybody else, but we've been doing this for a very long time in the city of Augusta. We just have been. So keep the budget for the schools where it is. We need these people. Go downtown. We see these people walking around. We're all having an issue. I've had my car broken into multiple times by the same person. That guy's still paying me restitution the second time.
Well, why don't we be spending money on
If we
something to
had
fix that,
perhaps
huh?
Somebody in high school that said, hey, you know, can I help you out a little bit? And again, and she's not the only one. And so some of her friends are being helped out too. And again, I'm a guy who cut. I'm not for all these services. I think people need to step up a little bit. But thank you very much, you guys, all you do.
Charming.
Thank you.
Nice guy.
Good evening, Mayor, and very respected Council of Augusta. I was asked about 30 minutes ago if I was going to speak at this, and I said no. But then I thought, I wear many hats here. I live here. One of my favorite hats that I wear is that I'm a dad, right?
Where? Oh,
I know a lot of you guys know a little bit of my story, but
sure, Dad.
one of the most crucial parts of my stories is that people were there to support me in school, in my later school, my GED, and in college. The type of programs that supported me to get an education were the same programs that
But
the
why is
city
she
of
so
Augusta actually
short?
has.
But why is she so short?
These are
I don't
programs
know.
that help teach a kid to develop
Because
or
you can't
learn
learn
about
to
a
be
skill
taller.
or develop the intrigue for education. That's something that was piqued inside of me through these teachers. It's beyond just the school. When I say this, I actually want to speak to, I don't want the city to cut anything either. I love the city of Augusta. I think the city of Augusta is clean. I think the people do work hard. I think that every service we have here is great. I want my son to experience Augusta the way I currently do.
Okay. He's a beta male.
Someday he's going to grow
He's a
up and he's gonna go to school.
feelings-oriented kind of
And I
guy.
hope every day the lessons I teach him,
Feelings.
he doesn't have to need services like I did. But if he does, I
Oh
want
my
him there.
God.
I want him to
No,
have a
it's so
job.
loud.
I want the job to be available. I don't want it to be cut. I don't think the answer is cutting and lowering. I think obviously you guys are very smart and we can find more ways to enrich economic growth, but I don't think the answer is cutting.
Ow.
And I don't want Theo to see a world where these things are cut and they're not available for him. Proud of you guys. Thank you for your work.
Oh, he's a nice guy. For being short. I'm just fooling around. Okay.
Hey, where's the Mexican ketchup?
It's over here.
Nicholas Blanchard.
Oh, Nick is
Live
up.
here in Augusta.
Come back.
I'm
Hurry.
also a candidate for the school board.
Hey,
I'm going to
Nick.
talk about something that's unpopular. And before I say it, this isn't a direct. I don't think that we should be cutting any of these programs. We could find other ways to make these cuts. Maybe administrators, you know, that are getting paid a little too much. But I stand before you tonight to urge a clear no vote on the proposed FY 2027 school budget. We can't keep pouring more money into a system that is failing our children.
Good.
Look at the facts. Augusta school budget has kept climbing year after year. This budget asks for another 9.2 increase, roughly $3.7 million more. Local taxpayers are on the hook for about another 3.2 million of it. That means an average property tax hike of $1,200 per year of the typical homeowner on top of the reevaluation. Since FY 2024 alone, our property tax contribution to our schools has skyrocketed 57%, far outpacing inflation. Yet, what are we getting for all this extra money? Declining results. Statewide, Maine students just posted the lowest reading and math scores in 3 decades.
Oh!
Here in Augusta, the numbers are just as bad. District-wide, math scores sit at 44%, below state average. At our high school level, it drops 36%. Reading is a little better, but still lags the state. Elementary and middle schools hover around 50% in math. Our kids are not getting the education they deserve, and Coney High School ranks in the bottom half of all Maine high schools for test scores. This is not a one-year problem. For years, we have watched budgets rise while proficiency stays flat or fails. We have restored positions, we have added staff for a regrowing multilingual population, all while test scores refuse to move. More money has not brought better outcomes. It has simply brought higher taxes. Meanwhile, the city of Augusta has declined. Quality of life has gone down while taxes keep going up. Yet, we are asked to pay more taxes. Our children's future are not for sale, and neither are our wallets. Throwing another $3 million at the same approach is not working.
Ooh.
It is bad money management. We need accountability, not another blank check. We need results before we hand over more of our hard-earned dollars. I ask every counselor to vote no on this budget, demand a plan that actually improves our test scores or just improves our test scores instead of just raising the taxes. Our kids, our community deserve better. Please vote no on the proposed FY 2027 for the school budget. Augusta's school budget has kept climbing year after year. Sorry about that, guys. I ask every counselor to vote no. We need to talk to the boots on the ground and understand where the real cuts can come from. Our kids and our community deserve better.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yay, Nick.
Yep. Yeah, come on.
Oh,
Oh, very good.
Ms. Maloney. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here tonight as a homeowner and as someone who works closely with the poorest in our city, so I have see the issue from both sides. I want to start by acknowledging that property taxes are a real burden in Maine. Many residents are feeling squeezed, and I agree that we should always be thoughtful and disciplined about city spending. At the same time, we need to talk about fairness, about how we got here. Maine's Constitution requires that property taxes reflect just value, meaning the current market value. Over time, our assessment ratio has dropped below that standard, and while our mill rate has risen relatively high compared to many other Maine communities.
What a mill
That
rate is.
combination has put us in a
I don't
difficult
know.
position. We are now forced to correct things all at once instead of adjusting gradually and predictably over time. The timing does matter because if the reassessment had happened 5 years ago, my own home would likely be valued significantly lower because a nearby sale came just under value, so I would actually be saving money. Instead, we've delayed, and now we're dealing with a very different market. I'll be honest, I'm going to be reassessed, and I'm going to pay more, and I'm not happy about that. But I'd be even less happy if we responded by cutting the very things that make our community strong, like closing our library, our local elementary schools, and in the process undermining the value of the homes that we're trying to protect. That's why it has to be about balance. Reassessment isn't about raising
pickle.
taxes
Good
overall.
point.
It's about making sure that everyone is paying their fair share based on today's reality, not values from nearly 20 years ago.
I hate that
And while we
term.
should absolutely be disciplined about spending, we also need to be honest that every cut has its consequences, and some of those costs come back to us in other ways. So I would encourage a balanced approach. Bring our assessments back in line with current market value, work to bring the mill rate down over time, and commit to regular reassessments so we don't end up in this position again. That would give the city more flexibility, create more predictability for taxpayers, and ensure a system that is both fair and sustainable. It isn't about choosing between taxpayers and services. It's about managing both responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds good, but there's $4 million to
Yes, in the corner?
deal with. That's the only problem. The numbers don't have feelings. Numbers don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care.
My name's Anthony Veet. I am
God.
employee at in the Augusta School Department here, and I work at Coney Middle and High School.
He's
My
the
appreciation
anti-hero.
to the council for having me.
I hate this
Mr.
guy.
Mayor.
I do.
And
Very
appreciation to the public for the
He's a
opportunity
groomer.
to speak. And I am speaking on behalf of supporting the school budget
Is he bald?
that is there with real costs attached to it. I recognize costs are
Yeah, he's
going up,
bald.
and they're going up everywhere. And I know that you all are looking for ways to manage that.
I'm coming back to your
I do want to
finance
say
meeting.
very much that certainly in my position as a clinical social worker at the schools, I go into work every
He's a
day
queer
wanting
groomer.
to bring value to the students,
He
to the
likes to queer the
families, to
kids.
the school that I serve.
Don't
So I
s-
appreciate that. It's been a privilege for me.
What he does.
To work here and to work.
He's the liaison to the
in this
gay
environment
club.
with a talented, dedicated, well-qualified group of professionals. I'm just want to give a quick heads up as to what the student support services side of things does, because we're not direct instruction, right? And that's a key component, obviously,
Right.
of what
You're all
schools are all
touchy-feely.
about. How do we make sure students
Too much, probably.
are in front of teachers? My position allows for, say, if someone is having a stressful time, dysregulated or whatever, they can take a break and have some place to go. That they're not in trouble.
Dysregulated.
They can process whatever's going on, and we get them back into class. I prefer to do it during study hall if possible, right? There's other things that we do a little more expansively. We do the suicide prevention awareness training that's required by law for new staff every year. For my position and the other social work and mental health support services clinical staff, we also
Mental
provide
health
the,
support. All sorts of stuff you can do under mental
district
health.
and building crisis team connections. So we oversee those protocols and make sure that we are trained and that we are trained as a staff, as a full faculty, so we know what to do when an issue comes up, if and when. And things do come up. We want to make sure that students have a place to go and that they're accompanied by an
Man,
adult if
steak
things do
fajitas.
get
No,
really
fajitas,
stressful.
no.
One of the other things
Quesadillas.
we really try to do is make sure that
Man, they're good.
because we
In the gas
understand
station.
how important it is for students to be connected with somebody. Do they have somebody they're connected with? Often it's a family member. I also
Are
want
you
to find where
connected?
that is in the school.
I'm
If they
sure you
don't
wanna
have that,
connect with
maybe it
kids.
can be me. Maybe we can identify somebody else. So we're trying to really bring that connection in community for all students and with all their staff members that are available.
I'm gonna
Different
go- I'm
students
gonna
have
go to the
different
next
connections
meeting and
with different
suggest they
staff
cut the gay
members. It's
club.
just how it is. I do also want to be mindful as you are making these challenging budget decisions, again, that this is an investment in our community.
off.
These students' communities. The downstream costs can be significant, and it is hard to show exactly where prevention
Hi, Vicky.
saved us money, right? And so those are important things to be thinking about as you're making these
It is.
decisions, obviously.
You're
I
right.
think we've heard a lot about where those
They
downstream
get in your
costs,
kids' heads, though, because
end
that's
up.
where they want to
I
be.
do know that Augusta has a very lean student per pupil expenditure for the school board already. And I want to say that this is a great time to continue to invest in these students and these families.
We're great.
So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate your efforts in taking the next steps here.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good watching them struggle with this stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, nobody's really said it yet. Stop with the SEL and the DEI. Cut those programs.
Is everybody exhausted yet? Oh, come on, Sam.
They should cut every single thing that has to do with being like feely, touchy. Ooh.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Manager, and members
Oh.
of the City Council. My name is Sam Baker, and I live on Sewell Street
stop.
here in Augusta. I'm the school board member for Ward 1. Before I begin, I'll
He's a
admit
sharp
I am
dresser.
still new to my role, and I'm still
A
learning about
stanky
this budget
dresser.
process. I do not serve on the Finance Committee or the Joint Conference Committee, but I have attended all of the meetings for these committees. On these long nights, I've listened to and observed city councilors and school board members, and I've taken lots of notes. Tonight, however, I speak simply as a deeply concerned resident of Augusta. As someone who lives and works here, I'm very worried about the possibility that the children, students, and teachers of the Augusta School Department will be asked to pay for, in more than financial terms alone, the long-deferred citywide revaluation with a harmful loss in funding for our public education system. A steep budget cut would disrupt our students' learning, resulting in significant challenges. If we make dramatic cuts to the school budget, even for 1 year, then we risk reversing progress where progress has been made. We would set parents, students, and teachers
Show
alike
it to
back on
us.
hard-fought efforts
There's
to
no
address
metrics for any of
absenteeism,
this
curriculum,
progress any of
test
these
scores,
people
and
talk
more.
about.
With the challenges and goals for what I just listed above, we can't do more with less. That's not going to work.
They're just
Not
little
all budget cuts are
anecdotal
the same, and
things
not
they
all
talk
numbers
about.
mean the same. If we reduce the number of teachers or fail to retain our highly experienced ones,
Oh, they want a
then we
budget
risk
increase.
burning out or overwhelming the faculty who remain. In turn, that additional
They gotta
pressure
cut
and
$2.5
stress
million
has a negative impact on our students, worsening their learning.
To get down
And
a
at the
5%
same time,
increase in taxes.
newer educators lose invaluable mentors. And less support in the classroom
I'm
almost
sorry,
always makes its way
I
back
hate
home or
flaming.
into the broader community. By adulthood,
This guy
that lack of
makes me
support
wanna
can
just
turn into
smack
bigger
him.
problems that come with higher costs.
Doesn't act like a
Let me be
man.
clear. It is not a burden to educate the children and students in
Sounds
our
like a
city.
woman in man's
Old or young,
clothes.
parent or not, we have a collective responsibility to finance public education. This obligation strengthens our
You
community,
know when you're so
binding us
gay
together.
that you
It gives
sound
everyone, not just
more
students
like a
and their
woman
families,
than a
something to hope
trans
for and
woman
work
being a
toward.
man.
It also
then
gives
you're
parents a
really
break.
gay.
I graduated from a public high school in a rural community. Neither of my parents had college degrees. They
Or
worked hard
bread, is
every
there any
single
bread there?
day, and they made
Banana bread.
sacrifices, but that still wasn't
it's all
enough.
gone.
Okay.
My public education added to what I learned from my parents and what they sacrificed for me to set me up for success. Some of my classmates
looks
came
so
from different backgrounds or
successful.
had more money, but I still had a chance.
He has a
thanks to
matching
my
backpack.
parents and to my public
I
education.
shit you not.
We all have different views on leadership based on age, education, experience, personal values, and others.
Oh, he's
At
always
this
color
moment in time,
coordinated
we have an
every
opportunity
meeting.
to ask the residents of this city to support the students and the teachers, even if other costs or expenses in their lives have gone up. Now is the time to give a little up so that we can all gain more in the end. Living within our
Gain more in
means
the
does
end.
look a little different for
Ooh.
everyone. At the very least, the kids, our students, shouldn't have to bear the brunt of the bill, not for decisions they didn't make, not for long overdue citywide
Successful.
revaluation. We, the voters, we can vote yes or no for the school budget. Let's send them a school budget that funds a quality education, provides support for teachers, and shows students that we will invest in them and in their futures. Because a well-funded, well-resourced, and well-staffed school is a sound investment in our city and in its economic growth and
We're
development.
47th
I'm neither
in
a
the
parent nor a
state,
teacher,
dude.
but I firmly believe this. You get one shot to educate a child. There are no do-overs, so you have to try as hard as you can to get it right
You're blowing
when
it.
it really matters. With this budget, let's try as hard as we can
I didn't mean
to get
that
it right.
like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was totally accidental.
You're talking to yourself right
No,
now.
these guys, man, they're just. Tell me how you're going to do it. What you're going to do different to get the test scores up.
Yep.
Are you going to get rid of these other programs where you're like,
Sure. This is your best chance.
What?
is that it?
All right. Do we know if anybody's downstairs that wants?
There isn't anybody else.
Okay. All right. So,
Wow.
thank you all for coming, even if you didn't speak, for coming, showing up. A lot of years, we don't get this, we haven't gotten this kind of feedback, so it's important that you've come out. We appreciate it. As you can tell, there's as many different perspectives as there are people in the room.
I don't think I've changed a
I just
dang
want to
thing.
speak briefly about the group of people you got working up here. We're all taxpayers as well. City manager's a taxpayer, school superintendent's a taxpayer. And you got a lot of different experiences up here. You got some retirees, and you got some young parents, and you got some business people, and you've got people who've worked in HR and the nonprofit world and whatever. All that is to say, I think you've got good people working on this with you and for you. I would stack this council up against any municipal body that you can find around. So,
I'm
the-
impressed.
the next
We'll
steps,
see.
again, is that after we adjourn this special meeting, we have another meeting. We have an informational meeting.
They reined in the reining in
And
the
depending on
schools,
how
I
that
think,
goes, we
pretty
may
good.
spend a little more
We'll
time
see.
discussing it. What we call a wrap-up. We started our wrap-up on Tuesday, and maybe we'll, I expect we'll spend some more time with it later on tonight. We have a first reading of our appropriation resolve a week from tonight. Then the second reading, we have to have 2 readings of it 2 weeks from tonight. We're going to talk about tonight whether we get to a number or instructions to our management team and school superintendent, or whether, we have the possibility of maybe even coming back early next week to spend some more time with it. Depends how the discussion goes tonight.
And they're going to have to hold an emergency meeting
One
of the
thing
school board.
that I like to say at the
They
beginning
can't
of the
wait
budget
probably
process
till the
is we
next
never end up where we
scheduled
started.
finance meeting.
If you read the newspaper,
I
we
wanna
were
go.
talking about 21%. We're already not there. I don't think we're where we want to get to. We're down to 16%. That's still a lot. And I don't think we'll stay there, from what I've heard. But
They're
again, I
going
don't know
down
where
from
we're gonna end
16.
up. And the reval is a consideration. We've talked a lot about the revaluation, what it means and what it doesn't mean. It's really a state-required process to bring equity among
4%
the
is
taxpayers
$1
in the
million.
community. Bring everybody up to fair market value, and as a result, some will pay more, some will pay less, some might not see a change at all. But it's really 2 different things, but it just makes things more complicated because you have the impact of a reval and then whatever we do with the taxes. So, having said all that, I want to make sure that everybody's had an opportunity to speak that want to tonight. Does anybody have second thoughts and want to speak that hasn't already?
Well, I really wish I would go.
So, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I would invite a motion to adjourn the special business meeting.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Been moved by Council Lind.
Second.
And seconded by Council Gary Allen to adjourn. If there's no discussion, please vote by raising your hand. We don't have anybody at the lights.
Force of habit.
All right, 7-0.
They can't afford it. They
All
got
right.
laid off.
Our special business meeting is adjourned. Mr. City Manager, are we going to stay up here for the bench for the information meeting, or are we going to go down to the well?
I was thinking going into the well, but that's at your pleasure, Your Honor. If you'd rather stay at the bench, we can, but we can set up real quick at the well.
All right, so why don't we take 5 minutes or so?
All right.
Stretch our legs, then we're going to resume.
We're not going to watch the next one.
They're going to have informational meetings, which I'm not really interested in. I'm getting kind of tired. And they're gonna apparently haggle some more after. When we'll tune into that tomorrow. We'll see what they did.
Okay.
Because I think they're probably, I don't know how long the informational meeting's going to be, maybe an hour or so. I don't have any idea. But anyway, so just to recap, I really wish someone would have said, and nobody said it, and and I don't know how much money there is in the DEI programs, honestly. Okay, but this is where they should be looking, the non-essential type stuff. And I would have said too, it's like, hey, having a soccer on Saturday league is great. But when I was a kid, we had a football league, and it was parents that were the coaches.
Yep.
And the pizza place would buy the uniforms, right? So everybody was advertising on the field, right? It was a great time. It didn't have anything to do with the school and any of that kind of stuff. It was intramural, right? So there are, I think, a lot of opportunities for people to do things and make use and reimagine, man. God, rethink things. People are so, well, we cut the end off the ham for the last 70 years because great-grandma cut the end off the ham. And finally end up talking to somebody that knows the history, and they said, well, great-grandma didn't have a pan that was long enough, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Stop cutting the ends of the ham off. You're wasting all that ham. So, I think that's kind of what's going on, right? Thank you very much for tuning in. You have a great night, too. Watch for us. We do this live stream stuff on school boards and stuff like that all the time. So.
And we'll be back Monday.
Yeah, we'll
with
be
our
back
show.
Monday in the morning, 8 to 10 for our show. wake up call
8
or
to 10 or 7 to 9?
morning in Maine. I don't know what we call it anymore. Whatever. It's with 7 to 10, 7 to 9. 7 to 9? Are you going to try 7? I
You
don't
want
know.
to
We'll
do
let you know.
7:30? No, we can't do it.
I don't know. So anyway, 7 or 8. We will we'll have a show.
I think we should do it at 7 because
Okay.
it's
All right.
summer and it's every
7 it
single
is.
day.
7 it is then. That's what we'll do. 7 a.m. Monday morning. We'll see you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that was a lot of fun, and we will catch you.